Well, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. I'm scared. We're out of camping supplies, and we're in the heart of Raedric's Keep right now. The main gate being just down here in this little area over here. We know there's a group of nasties in here, and we cleared out this area. Not sure what to expect. Like I said, I'm kind of scared. Let's go ahead and
all right then.
Move up towards the door. I don't want to open the door. I just want to move towards the door. And just kind of set up in case we need to collapse on the door.
And what
we're going to cloak everyone, and then we're going to open it up. Looks empty. For the moment, it looks empty. I like empty. Empty's good. The joints are fringed with rust. The emblem on the breastplate is of a tree with broad heart-shaped leaves. Looks like we're going to have a lot of reading to do in this episode. Potion of Infuse with Vital Essence. Plus 50 max endurance, plus 50 max health for 45 seconds. That could be really good. We seem to go down a lot. So let's give that to us, to Verithax. Let's go check out these bookshelves over here.
Would you look at this?
Yep. That right there looks like a hidden door, and I guess there's the switch for it. Pretty cool. We do have a book, Nassatique Poetry, a compilation. The Expedition. I move. There is no compulsion. It is not a need, but something pulls. I cannot deny its draw. The white wins out past my vision. Its fierce eyes watch me as I move. The wolf tracks my step, a silent companion who will not join. All is blank. The pale expanse lies before and behind. I search. The miles pass, and still my feet move. My hunt continues unabated. The landscape returns my gaze, unaffected by my presence. The snow falls, needles driven by the wind. Its cold teeth bite my skin. The snow gathers, its hands around my feet, a fierce opponent who will not relent. All is white. My journey continues. I travel. I can no longer stop. A true compulsion forms. The need drives me on. I must see. The sun breaks through the gray. Its unrelenting gaze thaws me. My body warms under its touch. Frigid limbs move again and carry me farther. All is empty. The breath of existence is my destination. Thank you for sharing your poetry. I'm glad we cleared out this room instead of that room over there. Farmer became a god. That sounds interesting. With the mention of the name Waidwen, most folk think only one word, Godhammer. While this event echoes through all ages and is still felt years after the destruction of Evendur Bridge, Waidwen's humble beginnings belie the powerful force he would grow into. Waidwen, living an unassuming life in a remote area of Reedceris, the son of Vorlis farmers. He toiled in the fields alongside his father for 22 years, until his father's death. The farm then fell to him to run. He considered selling, but had no other skills upon which to draw, so he set on the path of Vorlis farmer as well. Nothing of note has been recorded in Waidwen's life until 4 years after his father's death. One day, while working the fields, Waidwen's life was irrevocably changed. In his words, night was falling, the fingers of dusk already gripping the sky. The sun had dipped behind the world's edge, and stars were peeking from beyond the shroud. The day was still, and the darkness had blanketed the field. I placed my last harvest of the day into the collection pile when from behind me arose a brilliant light. I turned, fear in my breast, knowing not what could have caused such intense radiance. For a farmer, he's got quite the way of speaking, doesn't he? That seems a little weird that he's a farmer and he's speaking like that. But I'm not judging. I'm not saying farmers are uneducated. They can't be eloquent. They can, of course. I'm just saying it seems a little out of the norm. Anyways, I digress. Behind me stood a blazing figure, resplendent in glory. Its white flesh glowed with a luminescent radiance, its head a blinding ball of light, brighter than the highest sun of mid-year. I averted my gaze, afraid I would be struck down for daring to gaze upon such a creature. A sudden peace washed over me, sweeping away my fear, leaving my troubled soul tranquil. A loving warmth wrapped its arms around me. A voice spoke to me as I stood, transfixed, trying to both see this glorious being and avoid its dazzling scrutiny. "Fear not," it said to me, "for you are chosen above all others. You will be the light to bring about the rebirth of an empire. It then held out its hand and bestowed upon me a vision of power such that I could scarcely contain it. Waidwen, disheveled and dirty, stumbled into his village the next morning, telling all who would listen about the miracle that happened in his fields. Eothas himself, he claimed, had appeared to him. He was to punish the Aediran governor for leading his people into ruin. A way would be provided, and those faithful who helped would be blessed when the divinity manifested. Villagers ignored him, convinced the loss of his parents had broken his mind. But Waidwen continued to preach of the power of Eothas and the corruption of the governor, eventually earning him the ire of the locals. His confrontations with the villagers hit a turning point one day in mid-autumn. A crowd had gathered around Waidwen, jeering him and telling him to leave the village. The vorless crop that season was particularly light, and the villagers blamed Waidwen, saying he had angered the gods, particularly Eothas, with his blasphemy. They backed him into one of the withered fields, yelling at him to go. Accounts of the inciting action are hazy. Some say a stone was thrown, others say he was pushed, others still say he simply tripped over a dry root sticking from the ground. Regardless of the cause, Waidwen landed face down on the ground, the villagers standing over him laughing. Enough, a voice, not Waidwen's, boomed across the field. Waidwen looked up at the crowd, his eyes glowing with a blinding white light. He stood, but did not stand. One moment he was on the ground, and the next he was standing before the crowd, who cowered before him. You dare deny me? The voice spoke through Waidwen's mouth. You dare refuse my servant? Waidwen's arms raised, beginning to luminesce. You dare require proof? His arms went out to his sides. Never ask again, lest you be burned in the light of the new dawn. There was a flash of light from Waidwen's eyes and hands, and the entire field sprang to life. The once dried and brittle plants became full, lush, and verdant. The crowd was silent. From somewhere in the back came a call of praise Eothas, and then they all fell to their knees in front of Waidwen, a farmer turned god. I don't know why I'm still sneaking. Raedric's Rebellion. Have we read this one? I'll check real quick. I can't remember. There's so many books. Let's open our stash. No, I guess not. The Deerwood Part 4, Raedric's Rebellion. The rural communities loved Admeth Raedric, considering him the best leader they'd ever had. In Aedir, the Fairconing rankled against his usurpations of imperial authority, but no longer had the necessary power to truly undo anything that had happened. 2 years later, in 2664 AI, the Fairconing found allies willing to explore the ruins against the treaty conditions and plundered them for their artifacts. This was done discreetly at first, but they eventually became careless. The agents were discovered and arrested, but there was no evidence pointing back to the Fairconing. Admeth, suspecting the truth, used Glanfathan Brishalgwyn, mind hunters, the progenitors of modern-day ciphers, to investigate the matter further. With this method of interrogation, he discovered a chain of evidence all the way back to the Fairconing. While he investigated, many rural communities suffered retaliatory attacks by Glanfathans. Armed with this new information, Admeth worked with Galvin Medra, the new leader of the Glanfathans, and the rural communities of the Deerwood to prevent the Fairconing's agents from entering the ruins. There was a back and forth between the two groups, both sides engaging in various political, economic, and military maneuvers to try and gain the upper hand. The Fairconing was at a disadvantage in this game, though, as he preferred to assert his authority without causing an uprising. Eventually, Admeth had enough. He convinced 7 of the 9 earls to join him, and they severed their allegiance to the Fairconing, declaring themselves independent, and decree they would govern themselves, just as the Valian republics did 20 years prior. Admeth told the people he had tired of policies that made the nobles rich while putting the people of the Deerwood at risk. He declared himself a duke, again modeled after the Valian republic's governing structure, and called the Deerwood a free palatinate. Thus began the War of Defiance in 2668 AI. The war lasted 4 years and caused countless casualties, including Admeth himself. The Deerwoodans, with their Glanfathan allies, were able to preserve Glanfathan astrologers alongside the Deerwoodan forces and members of the ad hoc Knights of the Crucible militia. Won the Battle of Defiance Bay, which became the last battle of the war and left Deerwood free from Aediran imperial rule. 7 of the 9 earls of the Deerwood survived and, unified in purpose, signed treaties with Fairconing of Aedir. The war gave the Deerwood a greater sense of unity between its citizens and their Glanfathan allies. Admeth Raedric was revered by both groups, and the Deerwood enjoyed for the first time a nationwide fellowship of independence, perseverance, and sacrifice. Yenwood and Swinsrun Swinsford were dissolved and incorporated in the surrounding earldoms, leaving 7: Hellsgate, the Grasp, Ten Firths, Norwake, Coldwater, Ashfall, and Balereach. New Dunrid was renamed Defiance Bay and would become the seat of the power for the new Duke in Balereach. The new Duke's rule began in 2672 AI. So a little bit about how Deerwood came to be. That greedy Faircunning. Still don't know why we're all sneaking. Let's go ahead and move everyone in here. And let's give this a poke.
Nice and slow.
I'm hoping there won't be any guards in here because that was a little hidden passage. Let's move up on the door a little bit.
Eh?
Looks okay. Rite of Youthful Spirits. +3 athletics and +15 accuracy. The Fangs. I'm pretty sure we read this. This is a group of Glenfathan tribespeople that are very aggressive, very hostile, and very, like, I guess, traditional. A fine stiletto. A pistol. A bloodstone, and some copper pans. The stiletto, I guess we'll give to... She's not really going to be using it. We're going to give it to... I don't know. We're going to give it to her anyways. The pistol we'll give to Eater because I believe he's got the bonus.
Yeah.
2 pistols. From his talent. He's got Ruffian, which is pistol, blunderbuss, saber, stiletto, club. And this is a stiletto. How would this be compared to his mace? It's fast. It's got good accuracy. It's got damage bypass, which is good. I may actually give this to him. It seems a little weird to have a knight with a stiletto, but I'm going to give it to him just because he gets the bonus. And this should be the fine arbalist. We'll just put that away. And we'll put this away too. And we'll drop that here since we take a lot of damage since we are two-hander. Or using a two-hander. Yeah, I know it's a little weird to see like a tank with a dagger. But it attacks quickly. It says it's got weak interrupt, which I guess is fine. You know what? Let's check the mace real quick. Average interrupt. I think we're going to keep the stiletto just because he gets the bonus to it. He gets +6 accuracy. And I don't think a mace necessarily counts as a club. Although they are both blunt weapons. We can't open that. And Dusty Old Ledgers record the taxes paid on farmsteads in Gilded Vale as far back as 2632. Okay, well we can't open that yet, but at least we did get the stiletto, which is kind of nice. I'm going to drop a quick save. I'm feeling like I'm probably going to walk into a trap soon. These look like stairs. Where does this go? To the dungeon laboratory. That sounds like it could be kind of fun. Let's go ahead and run up here. Poke our head in. Oh, whoa. Yep, there's definitely a dead body over there. Is this the king? Oh, God. Oh, my goodness.
Eh?
Oh. Just out of curiosity. I'm gonna save scum just real quick. I want to see if we get next to the chest, if we can detect the trap and disarm it. If we can't, I'm still going to open it anyways. Just so I'm not being, you know, scummy. So we know that goes down to the dungeon laboratory. So I'm going to go get next to the chest and see if we can detect a trap. Okay, we can't detect a trap. So I'm just going to go and open it just like last time. Can't run from it. Let's go ahead and just grab everyone. Bring everyone in here. Alright, so what do we got going on here? Well, there's obviously the dead body. Let's go ahead and open the chest. Ring of Searing Flame. Properties minor spellbind combusting wounds. Grants combusting wounds. Rings can feature plain bands or jewels in settings. Magical rings may bestow a variety of special properties or defenses on the wearer. Their small size allows their enchantments to complement similar enchantments from other items and spells, and this versatility has made them popular among adventurers. So I guess rings stack. Their buffs stack. We got a little bit of Moonstone. We got another Scroll Fan of Flames. And we'll see what this does. So it gives combusting wounds. I guess let's equip that real quick and see if maybe we get a new spell.
Yeah.
Okay, we do. 3 per rest. Combusting wounds causes enemy wounds in the area of effect to ignite, inflicting additional burn damage over time each time they are wounded. That sounds pretty cool, and I will keep that on Verithax, just so he can help out with some more damage. Blackened pages curled in the fire, a leather cover embossed with a rising sun and 3 stars is barely visible through the flames. Alright, and then we have the body. Blood, still wet, runs from the woman's slit throat, soaking into the sheets below.
Right.
Okay, well, I wonder who it is.
Keeping
Alright,
quiet.
let's do this properly.
Hey.
Let's bring our people up here.
How may I help?
Aloth can come over here,
Yeah.
and you can open the door. Let's drop a quick save. Unfortunately, she's at half health
Sure.
now, and she's our scout. So if she gets caught out in the open, then she's kind of screwed. Kind of like this. I don't like this at all. This goes, I'm guessing this is going to be the throne room, because it's all the way like in a straight line with the door. And that's usually like a typical layout for castles like this. Okay, there are guards up here. Champion of Bareth. We can talk to these people though. We were detected. Okay, but they don't seem hostile. Alright, well, I don't want to go talk to any of them. I want to go explore the dungeon laboratory right now. Maybe we should. Do I want to be scummy about it? I can quick save now and go talk to them and see what happens, and if I don't like it, I guess I could go explore the dungeon. We'll do that. I'll be a little scummy. Forgot that I can rotate. That's good news. Good information to remember. So I guess we're just gonna walk up here, and that should be Raedric. Let him approach, flanked by a host of guards, all of whom regard you with mute hostility. Lord Raedric VII observes you from his throne, clad in ornate plate. His eyes have a hollow quality, and there is a pallor to the man's gaunt face that leaves his features showing stark against his dark and unkempt hair. There is a dagger discarded upon one stone arm of the throne. A thin, crimson rivulet worms its way down from the blade and past Raedric's fingers, even as he leans forward to regard you with a piercing gaze. Eater thought he'd be better looking, even with all the inbreeding. Though his face is calm, you notice Eater's hand straying toward his weapon, as though with a mind of its own. Raedric, it seems I have you to thank for the chaos spreading through my keep. I half expected some invading army.
It is unlike Kolsch to hire mercenaries, or foreigners for that matter. And you are not one of mine, so I cannot accuse you of treason.
Raedric's voice is low rasp, his gaze fixed upon you. His fingers close loosely around the pommel of his dagger, as if to ascertain if it is still there, and then flinch away. Perhaps, I don't understand why that... I don't understand why that previous line was voiced, but this isn't. Perhaps he ought to have considered such tactics sooner. You've made short work of my guards. His eyes narrow. They were good and loyal servants, loyal to my coin, if not to me. They deserved a better fate than you gave them.
What has my cousin promised you? Some grand reward? If he had any resources to his name, he would not covet mine. And if he had any honor in him, he would not have tried this here, now, when I have lost so much.
Okay, so that's interesting. We didn't know that Kolsch was his cousin. And finally, I know that it is pronounced Kolsch and not Kolsk. So that's good for me on a personal level. But yeah, that's interesting. His cousin sent him in, or sent us in here. That's That's interesting. I'm curious about who was in the other room. He said he just lost so much, and he did just lose his son, or I'm assuming it was son, his child. His child was hollowborn, so I'm guessing they ended up killing the baby. But there was a bed, or the person in the bed. I think it was a woman. Maybe that was like his wife. Maybe he killed his own wife. I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, let's ask about his cousin. Like we didn't know that Kolsch was your cousin. What's that about?
Oh yes, we are kin, he and I. He was raised within these walls, in fact, privy to all the privileges our family had to offer. But a greedy man always hungers after more than he receives, however bountiful. I was eldest, heir to the stewardship of our lands, and he was not.
The legacy brought chaos with it, panic and despair. Kolsch took advantage of that chaos, creating division in our ranks, luring loyal men and women to his cause. Good men, good women. Raedric's gaze goes distant for a moment, and then he glances at you, and his lips curl. He fled the keep in time to hole up in the wilds beyond the village, to play at being a commoner and court favor with the people. And while he plays at conqueror, the Vale suffers, families, traders, all. I did not have enough men to guard the roads and defend us from Kolsch's incursions both. My attention suffers, and so my governance, my family. Raedric breathes out through his nose. Nor can I make the effort necessary to bring about an end to this curse if we are beset at all hours by his traitorous plots. So, now we see that, maybe Kolsch isn't such an honorable man. Maybe Raedric is, he's trying to do his best, but his own family is attacking him. This is also just one side of the story. He could be just completely demented and evil, and Kolsch is in the right. But I don't think we have enough information at this point. What have you lost?
Much. There is a plague among us here in Gilded Vale. The legacy is but part of it. The rest is fear, heresy, perversion. Each incident alone is but the flicker of a candle. But together, a blaze that will destroy us.
The legacy is a test of faith. It has driven many to madness. They cling to hollow promises, to dark and terrible things. Each lie permitted feeds the fire. Every whisper from preening charlatans and venom-tongued midwives, the word of false prophets, the promises of dead gods. He clenches a gloved fist.
The flame consumed her. My Ygritte. And our child with it.
Raedric looks to the dagger, and his voice catches briefly in his throat. I'm curious if he did it, or if maybe she did it herself. Because, he does seem very torn up about it. That doesn't mean he didn't do it, of course. But maybe she did it herself. Let's ask what happened. Like, why is the dagger there? What did you do?
A just sentence.
Okay, so I'm guessing he did kill someone. Raedric turns his head slightly to regard the dagger. There is a sudden, careful stillness in his expression. His voice wavers, and in that moment, a pang of grief crosses his face. Ygritte knew. She hid the verses from me, the tokens. She knew what I would make of them. The scattered god poisoned her against me, made her deaf to my instruction. Only when our son was born, that hollow thing, that monster, then we both knew what her crimes had wrought. Raedric turns a baleful look upon you, jaw working, face flushed and splotchy with emotion. It could not stand. He brings up a hand suddenly toward his temple, obscuring his face. What does Kolsch know of sacrifice? He would indulge himself. Let us succumb one by one and suffer Barrett's punishment, until the final soul goes to its keeping, never to return, and Gilded Vale is but a barren land. You murdered your own wife and your child? I carried out the sentence. What would you have me give her? What? No, I'm sorry. Let me start over. I carried out the sentence. Would you have me give her to an executioner? In the Deerwood, we see to our own justice. Raedric sits back in his throne, his knuckles white upon the armrest. And that thing, that silent aberration, that was not alive to kill. His dark eyes narrow. Keep your recriminations, trespasser. I have done my duty. It looks like we're probably going to have a fight, but I'm going to go ahead and try everything I can to avoid the fight at this moment. Gilded Vale has suffered under your rule. It deserves a better leader. Raedric makes a low, huffing noise of disbelief. And you think Kolsch is that leader? What does he understand of what it means to be a Thane? Has he gathered a meager assembly of illiterate farmers and scavengers to himself and sends these suicidal actions against my guards?
You are a pawn in Kolsch's designs, and he has kept his motivations from you for a reason. I wonder if you understand what it is you do, or what you might accomplish if you were better informed. You have proven your competence in your way, and had I such an ally, we might together put an end to Gilded Vale's woes, lift the curse once and for all, and in doing so, return us to a life where such strict measures are not necessary.
My loyalty is purchased. Pay me, and I will serve you a time. Put your loyalty up for sale, and you may find it used and discarded most cheaply. You have proven your strength, if by unfortunate means. Raedric waves a hand, gesturing towards his guards, and I am generous to those loyal to me in turn. If it is coin that moves you, you should know that a Thane of the Deerwood makes a far greater ally than a penniless pretender to the title. I can offer you a reward if you will put an end to this rebellion. I can waste no more resources on Kolsch. He has robbed me of too much. Kill him, and I can refocus my attentions on this blight. Between the priest and my animancer, we can determine a cure. My family will be the last to suffer for this legacy. And you will wake a richer man come morning. Well, I kind of like the sound of that. I'll find Kolsch and put an end to him.
Good. You will not have to look far. His camp lies in the wilds past Gilded Vale. His scouts watch the roads and warn him in advance of my forces. But you should have more luck. Deal with him, and then return here.
Alright, so a few things. The reason I did that is, one, because I do not believe we had a formal contract drawn up with Kolsch. We are a Gold Pack Knight. He didn't pay us. He promised us rewards. He didn't pay us. So we just kind of did it, I guess, on good faith. But Raedric here, he did pay us, and we are a Gold Pack Knight, which means our loyalty is bought and paid for by this contract. Hopefully we can get into Kolsch's camp without too much problem, since he did send us here in the first place. I can't imagine any of his guards attacking us until we initiate combat. Maybe we can do it a little stealthily. But I think in this situation, both sides seem at fault, I guess. So what I mean by that is Kolsch, he wasn't completely truthful with us. He didn't tell us that he was related to Raedric. We're not sure of his motives still, and the way Raedric explains it, it kind of seems like Kolsch just wants the throne for himself. Raedric could be a terrible leader. Kolsch could make an even more terrible leader, and, you know, the devil you know. So I'm going to go with Raedric here, and it is unfortunate what he did to his wife and the hollowborn baby, his baby. But, I mean, he's the lord of the land, and if he felt that his wife betrayed him by doing some sort of, I don't know, pagan rituals, if you will, or seeking, I guess, divine aid from a different god than the god of the land. I don't know. It's unfortunate what he did. I don't agree with it, but it was his decision to make, I guess. I'm not saying it was the right decision. Again, I don't agree with it. I certainly wouldn't kill my wife over something like that. I'm curious if we have free reign over the keep now. I'm going to drop a quick save and just kind of run around and see if we have free reign over the keep. If we do, that's kind of cool. This goes up to the Temple Scriptorium. I'm guessing that's going to be where the priest is. We still have some areas that we can go explore. I am curious, again, if we're going to get attacked. But yeah, we now have a formal contract with Raedric, which means that we are loyal to him as long as the coin comes in. And since both Kolsch and Raedric seem not completely truthful, this looks like a hidden wall. I'm fine with profiting, basically. Kolsch just promised stuff. They could be empty promises. But we have guaranteed coin. We have a formal contract now. This right here seems like a hidden door. I guess I can't detect it right now. Let's go ahead and level up. So he's not doing any points in mechanics. Survival, consumable duration, that could be good. Athletics, we're going to give him a little more athletics. And we will also increase his lore so we can start using some of these scrolls. So now he can use level 2 scrolls, which is kind of cool. And we'll save that other point. And we do get a new talent, Greater Lay on Hands. What does that do? Modifies Lay on Hands. Fueled solely by belief, the paladin is able to heal with the touch of his or her hands, recovering a substantial amount of endurance for the paladin or an ally within range. I'm guessing it just doubles, or like does like a 25% increase of the heal, something like that. Untroubled Faith. So this would negate our faith and conviction influences, that being the disposition we have in relation to, like, we're the Gold Pack Knights. They favor a certain kind of disposition, and this would, I'm guessing, just completely negate that. I still think that shouldn't be something you get so early, but I guess if you wanted to roleplay a certain way, then you would need that. Enduring Flames. Flames of Devotion do burning damage over time. That actually sounds like it could be pretty good. Intense Flames does an extra 25% damage. Offense. We're using two-handers. What does Knight get? Battle Axe, Sword, Morningstar, Crossbow. Soldier gets a Great Sword, Pike, Warhammer, Arbalist, Arquebust. I might go with Soldier because I like the Great Swords. But we could also use, I believe, no, this is a poleaxe. It's not a pike. Who has a poleaxe? I'm just curious. Adventurer has the poleaxe. I don't like most of these weapons. I guess the S-Stock could be fine. Savage Attack. It gives us -5 accuracy, but a 20% damage buff. That sounds pretty cool. And Venom Strike. Mixture of animal and plant venoms applied to his or her weapon. The character is able to deliver a poisonous strike that does raw damage over time. I believe raw damage was the damage that doesn't actually get mitigated. It goes straight through all armor and resistances. Two weapon style I thought we already had. Oh no, we had two hand style, not two weapon style. Dangerous Implements. Increases damage done by implements. Okay, so not for us. Beast Slayer, Primal Bane, Ghost Hunter, Sanctifier against vessels. Interrupting Blows gives us a higher interrupt chance. That could be good. I might go with that mode that we turn on, Bloody Slaughter. All attacks at enemies with low endurance convert some hits to crits, and those crits do additional damage. That could be good for finishing. 20% of hits converted to crits against targets with low endurance. Yeah, that could be good for finishing. Hold the Line could also be good because there are only two of us in melee. So we'd be able to engage another person. Reflex is going to be AoE, right? Yeah, physically harmful AoEs. Bear's Fortitude gives us Fortitude. This is resistance to poison and disease. The Will is spell resistance or mental resistance. Cautious Attack lowers our attack speed by 20%, but gives us higher deflection, which is the melee and ranged attacks. That could be good as well. Utility. We get an extra weapon set. Increases burn damage and damage reduction. So I guess we take less burn damage and do more burn damage. That could also be good. Well, there's a lot of stuff in here that's really good. Really good. Allows the healing of a small amount of health on an ally once per rest. That could be good as well. I think I may save that for Sabile. Wound binding. I don't understand why you would take that one over that one when that one heals so much more. They're both once per rest. I think what we're going to go with is the modal savage attack. We get -5 accuracy, but we get a 20% damage buff. Alright, and we are done. We are now, I guess, level 4. And let's do Eater real quick. Athletics, we'll give him another athletics. And I guess we'll beef up his... I don't think mechanics is party based, so like if they all stacked mechanics and they all had like 2, if they could come together and have a meeting about it, I don't think that's how it works, so we're not going to give him mechanics either. I will give him lore, so we could use maybe some scrolls. Stealth I'm not interested in. I don't think I put any points in his stealth, I can't remember. Survival will do. I need to be better about the food buffs. Alright, so class. He gets bonus knockdown. He can use it once more per encounter. That sounds pretty useful. And Wary Defender increases the fighter's awareness while in defender mode, granting a bonus to all defenses. We'll go with that. That one was way quicker than Verithax. And Sabile still has not leveled. That's ridiculous. I don't know why we can't get out of this room. I guess no one's perception is high enough. But I think I thought the same thing when I was over here. That looks like a secret door. So let's go back up here, I guess. And then we can go check out this area up here. Stomp, 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 stomp. Alright, let's go up here. If this is where the priest is and there wasn't a back way up here, then I'm going to be ever so slightly salty. It's locked. Of course it's locked. Okay, this is... Alright, I see where we are. I wonder if he's in this room right here. I'm going to guess he's in that room. I think if you get behind a locked door, you should be able to unlock it. Alright, well, what do we have now? I do want to go see if these guys will attack us now that we have a contract with Raedric. I think this door's locked, I'm not sure. It is not. Alright, let's just see. Hooray! They don't want to kill us right now. Which means we can go check out these rooms. And it's not stealing. A rod, which is fine, I guess. And some armor, which is fine, I guess. And that's the same one as from the other room. Spellwright and a sellsword. Alright, well, I believe we've explored pretty much this entire keep now. With the exception of that one room upstairs, and then we also can't free Kolsch's man because we just don't have the lockpicks for it. Which is, I mean, that's something that I would have done. I would have done it. But now that we are going against Kolsch, that seems like it might not be such a great idea. Can we get out from down here to the lower ramparts? We might be going the wrong way. Or the long way, rather. No, this is where we came up. So we'll just drop down over here again. Climb back down. After a few tense moments where you are left dangling precariously over the side of the wall, you manage to get a handhold and slowly work your way back down to the ground. Alright, I do want to go stop in town, because there is that area that I completely forgot to explore. It was in the old church-looking building.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Alright, so we'll have to check to see where his camp is, because I kind of forgot. But I do want to go to Gilded Vale. I want to rest. I want to get some camping supplies. I want to see if we can get some lockpicks. And I want to check out that room, the cellar or basement. This is the room I was talking about right here. This little door. But before we do that, actually, let's come up here. Where is the smithy? Smithy is over here. Let's go sell some stuff and see if we can buy some stuff. We have a bunch to sell. And I can't remember if vendors have a money cap.
Greetings.
It doesn't look like they have a money cap. Alright, well that's cool. We're going to take all of your camping supplies. And do we want any of these? I don't think so. Increased reach gives +1 constitution, which is our HP and stamina. And it's reliable. 20% of grazes convert to hits. That's pretty cool. The pike. I'm not sure if ruffians get a bonus to pikes. I don't think they do. Alright, and do you have anything good? You have an outworn buckler. +5 to all defenses. That sounds pretty good. Minor ring of deflection is +5 deflection. Of protection is +5 fortitude, reflex, and will. The blunting belt will give us a damage resistance bonus. So we take less damage from slash and pierce. That actually sounds like it could be worth it. Let's go ahead and grab that. And we'll grab this ring, the minor ring of protection for right now. And we're just pretty much going to sell. If it's not blue, we're going to sell it. And then we'll see what we may or may not give up. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Well, we now have enough money to purchase these things. So much stuff. This is absolutely ridiculous. Wish there was like an add all button. The books I'm just gonna hang on to. Well, I don't know. We've read them. Don't really need them. I'll sell the books. I'll keep the notes, I guess. For right now, the bear hide we'll go ahead and get rid of. The wolf hide. Boar hide. Keep the pry bar. We only need one grappling hook. Hammer and chisel we have. Torch we'll hang on to. We'll hang on to all that stuff. We're still going to leave with a little bit of money, which is always a win. Let's go ahead and do this trade. Alright, so we have a transaction pending. Oh, we can only hold 4 camping supplies at once. I forgot about that. Alright, so let's check this stuff out. Ring of minor protection. We have the belts. So can I give you this? Okay, so that's working against that, and that give him all. It only gave him fortitude and will. I'm guessing because this gives reflex. And these give, what does this give? Will it buff you all the way? It won't buff us at all. I figured rings would have stacked You know, it's better than nothing having that. And we have, what is this? A Cape of Withdrawal. I'm not sure where we got this. If maybe I accidentally bought it from that guy. I'll have to watch the video. I don't remember getting this. Maybe it was in a chest or something. Maybe we got it from Raedric. Plus 15 defense when disengaging. I'm actually going to give that to Durance because he does get in melee sometimes. So he does need to be able to disengage. Maybe I should give the ring to Durance as well. That's only going to buff up his fortitude and will. His defenses actually aren't too bad. Alright, well, we're just going to give it to Eater. We need to see if we can get some lockpicks from somewhere. Maybe we can get them from the innkeeper. And then we're probably going to rest and wrap up this episode. It's about 45 minutes right now, which is about where I would like my episodes to be. So let's go have a talk with Pasha.
Good day to you.
We can ask about the puppy upstairs. What about the puppy upstairs? Really? Well, let me see. The actual building's been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. We got a lot of new faces in here too, fewer than we used to, I'll admit. Tenfrith's a big draw. I'm sure we'll get the big crowds back in no time. I used to work the tables actually until the old owner up and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him. Even left his poor hound behind. That's the name, see, the Black Hound. It's still sitting upstairs, pining after him. Poor old girl. Place ended up in my hands somehow. She laughs. My very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's been worth it so far. I just wanted to ask about the puppy. I didn't really care about the inn. Camping supplies were good on. Let's go to miscellaneous. Do you have lockpicks? I thought I toggled other. Do these count as other? Look at all this stuff that we sold her. You don't have any lockpicks? Oh, this is very unfortunate. Maybe we can make lockpicks? Crafting. Potions, scrolls, and food is all we can make. Good talk. We can make some rice pan or some chicken.
Hello.
Let's go ahead and get a room. And then that is going to wrap up this episode. Since we have enough gold left, let's go ahead and get the super fancy room, Deerwood's Pride. Yeah, we made an interesting decision. Going with Raedric instead of Kolsch. Again, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. Which is kind of my thinking with going with Raedric. Also, he paid us. Kolsch did not. Kolsch just kind of possibly lied to us about his motives. And then promised rewards in the future. And with Raedric, we get rewards now. So, now was better than later. Unfortunately, Raedric did murder his own wife and his hollowborn son. Again, I don't agree with that. But again, I'm a gold pack knight. I'm not paid to agree with anything. So, yeah, in the next episode, we're going to go explore that little area in the town that I forgot to explore, the basement that's in the ruins of the chapel. And then we are going to go hunt down Kolsch and see what we can do about that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching, and have a good one.